Hello and welcome to the Nothing Nothing. It is February 2024 and the nominee list for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has been released. And let me tell you, I am glad we get 7 votes this year in the fan mail because this class is stacked. But before we get to that, we have to go through everybody. And we have to also go through my prediction list, which I am already going to say was very bad in hindsight. But anyway, let us begin with the inductees, or let us go through the list first, and we'll see what I got right and what I got wrong. First up, we have Mary J. Blige, back again for the second time after a couple years off the ballot. I was not even close on this one. And then next up, from my last year's wild card in the video, Mariah Carey, nominated for the first time. And let's be honest, she'll probably be inducted. But anyway, I don't think I need to explain who Mariah Carey is. Then next up, we have for the first time, and been overdue for probably over 30 some years, Cher. That was a correct guess. Cher is a long-time artist, originally with her former husband, Sonny Bono, who had hit Sonny Bono, which was Sonny and Cher, with hits like the number one, I Got You, Babe. And then when she went out on her own, leaving Bono, she had several number ones, including Dark Lady, Gypsies, Trance and Thieves, and Half Breed, just as an example, in the 1970s. And then during the same time, she was running on a television, she was hosting a TV show with Sonny Bono, the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, which was one of the biggest variety shows of the 1970s. And then Cher went into acting in the 80s, doing films like Moon, Starstruck, and several others throughout the years. And then in the late 80s, she came back to music with several songs like Just Like Jesse James, I Found Someone, and in 1999, until just last year when Brenda Lee became the oldest woman to ever hit number one on the Billboard chart, Cher held the record for when Believe became her most recent Billboard Hot 100 number one in 1999. And she's the only artist that, if you look at any Billboard chart, she's had a number one in 7 decades. If that doesn't tell you what a legacy is, I do not know. And then next up, coming back, and former fan ballot winner in 2020, we have the David Matthews Band. That was not even close. Probably not the year, but we'll get to that. And then next up, coming back for the first time since 2012, we have Eric B. and Rakim. Excuse me. Yes. They're the first act this year, and there's the whole debate about rap shouldn't be in the Rock Hall, but whatever, it's already in. Probably not the year. And then, as I mentioned in my video last time about the whole Jan Warner leaving that can bring people back in, we have one this year. One of the groups that famously been snubbed for years, Foreigner. Their debut in 1977 came at a time when there was worry that rock and roll was dead, the disco. And their debut, Foreigner, had classics such as Cold as Ice, It Feels Like the First Time. Then all the way up till 1987, they were consistent hit makers, with at least one song hitting the top 10 per year, including the number one in 1985 with I Want to Know What Love Is. And then next up, we have Peter Frampton. That was not even close, and Foreigner was a correct guess. Peter Frampton, longtime rock and roll guitarist for several bands, including Humble Pie, The Herd, and mainly his solo career. However, much like Carole King a couple of years ago, he's got a one-album success, is what he's known for. And that was in 1976, when his live album, Peter Frampton Comes Alive, became one of the best-selling live albums in history. And then next up we have Back Again, Jane's Addiction. I was not close on that one either. Rock and roll band from the 80s and 90s, but probably not the year again. For the first time ever, this band, Kool and the Gang, have also been put on the list. They originally started out as a jazz band, but during the 70s, they became more of a disco funk group with hits like Hollywood Swingin', Ladies' Night, and number one in 1980, Celebration, which you've probably heard many a time if you've ever had to celebrate a victory, like if you heard the Chiefs fans that just won last night. And then next up, also for the first time, we have modern guitar legend Lenny Kravitz. We'll see. Next, and then after this, we have the Winkers from Britain, Oasis and the Brothers Gallagher. 90s Britpop legends. Although most people today only know them for Wonderwall. They were also known for other things like Be Here Now and Don't Look Back in Anger from albums like What's the Story, Morning Glory. Then after that, we have, although no longer able to attend her induction, if she was inducted, Sinead O'Connor. Now, she's only known for, this is the Devo of this class, as my Twitter would tell you. She is only known for Nothing Compares to You, which was a number one back in 1990. We'll see. You'll get to my opinion in a minute. Then next up, we have, if this man was inducted, this would be a second time to be inducted, Ozzy Osbourne. I was not even close on Ozzy or Sinead O'Connor or Oasis. Now, as Ozzy's own bio says, if you need to look at a bio to learn who Ozzy Osbourne is, then what rock have you been living under? I don't think I need to say anything else other than that. And then next up we have first timer Sade. I was not even close. Sade is a band from the UK that was popular during the 1980s and 90s. They were considered one of the few pioneers of neo-soul, which became popular during the 80s with people later like Simply Red. They've been around, they've been still doing things. Like, in fact, they did a song for the film Wrinkle in Time, which is on Disney Plus, if you want to see that. Hear what they sound like today. Flowers of the Universe, or Flower of the Universe is what that song is called. But they also wrote performed classics like Smooth Operator, Is It a Crime, and No Ordinary Love. And then last but not least, coming back again, we have Tribe Called Quest. That was a correct guess. Another one of rap's earlier pioneers. They are going for it again. But okay. So I only got 3 right there in my pre-pick guesses. But now, what do I think? Who's getting inducted and who's my pick? So we'll start my picks first. I picked Cher, Foreigner, Peter Frampton, Kool and the Gang, Oasis, Ozzy, and Sade. That is, and by the way, if you're wondering why I just said 7, that is because there are 7 fan votes. This time, not 5. So what happens if someone is not inducted, missed, whatever? Where will they go? Okay, let's just go down the list. Mary J. Blige, put back on the ballot again. This is just another year of first year of a strong class. And it's between her, Mariah Carey, and Sade, basically, for her one place. Mariah Carey, let's be honest, first time inductee. People aren't going to be happy, but so be it. If not put on the ballot for next year, she'll be in next year. Cher. Probably first timer, but if she doesn't make it first time, then put her on the ballot again next year, she'll be in. Dave Matthews Band, this is their second time, of course. They're currently in the top 7 of the fan vote again. Probably just leave on the ballot, maybe they'll get there eventually. Although if not, I'd be happy to put them into musical excellence. And we can move on. Then next up we have Eric B. and Rakim. Compared to 2012, they have a better case now than they did then. But I would argue at this point now they should go into Musical influence, which was once the former early influence category. Foreigner, keep on the ballot until whenever. They'll be inducted, but I think they'll be inducted this year. Peter Frampton, also keep on the ballot for the next couple of years, but if he doesn't somehow get in this year, which is probably my expected as well, then we can move him into musical excellence, and he would be happily placed there. Jane's Addiction, put back on the ballot again next couple of years, but if not, then maybe consider musical excellence. Kool and the Gang, if they keep on the ballot for a couple years, but if they are not inducted via that method, then I'd put them into musical influence. Lenny Kravitz will probably get in on the ballot, so just keep him on the ballot for the next couple years. Someone will eventually he'll pass the bar. Oasis also keep on the ballot. This is the first time a Britpop band has come up on the chart to the fan ballot this year, so they'll have their dues in due time. Sinead O'Connor, if she's not inducted this year, I would move her into the early musical influence or into musical excellence, and then we can move on. Not I don't dislike Sinead O'Connor, but probably a smarter place for her at this point. Okay, and then next up we have Ozzy Osbourne, first time inductee, I betcha. He's already in as with Black Sabbath, so. And his solo career is pretty long, and everybody pretty much knows who he is. So that's probably a first-time ballot. But if not, keep him on the ballot for next year. He'll be in next year. Sade. Unfortunately, I do think this is probably going to be the only time she's ever on the ballot. Oh, I forgot to mention she also played at Live Aid on the UK side. Yes. But Sade, if she's not put in this year, maybe leave on the ballot next year. But if that doesn't work, then maybe move into musical influence or musical excellence. But that's all dependent on how it goes this year. And then lastly, of course, Tribe Called Quest. If they are not in this year, this is when I would start considering moving them to the now musical influence category. Because with the whole getting rid of the whole early thing, it's gotten rid of the whole that has to be musical. It has to be an early rock and roll influence. And that now can be anybody, basically. This doesn't have a home. And with that, once again, the nominees for 2024 are Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Cher, Dave Matthews Band, Eric B. and Rakim, Foreigner, Jane's Addiction, Kool and the Gang, Lenny Kravitz, Oasis, Sinead O'Connor, Ozzy Osbourne, Sade, and Tribe Called Quest. You can vote until the closing of the voting date at vote.rockhall.com, and you can vote every day once until the vote closes. And actually, right now, as of this date I'm filming, the top 7 are Ozzy Osbourne, Peter Frampton, Foreigner, Cher, Dave Matthews, Lenny Kravitz, and Mariah Carey. And with that, I thank you for watching, and put your votes in if you wish to vote for the fan ballot.